So when it comes down to being a founder, there's going to be so many obstacles and so many things that you need to go through, right? It's just rite of passage at this stage. But for me, I find it quite interesting because for myself, I'm very much someone who preaches a lot about the importance of documentation, the importance of really ensuring that you understand your journey and you understand what it takes in order to get to where you want to get to, right? And when it comes down to, many of the sort of highlights and achievements you will have on your journey, I think it's very important that you take everything with a pinch of salt, as you would have heard me mention in previous videos, but to also ensure that you sort of have low expectations, I would say. And when I refer to low expectations, it's usually deemed or perceived as I'm saying it from a negative stance. But I'm not saying it from a negative place at all. It's more so just a way for you to understand that you have to remain neutral at all times when it comes down to brand building and when it comes down to putting yourself out there and to unlock certain opportunities, right? Because for me, for example, so I've been on this journey, right, since July 2024, right? This year will be my second year in the pursuit of brand building on my terms and building a seven-figure business as well as a community of like-minded professionals looking to get that level of visibility and credibility to get to that level of brand authority, right? And for me, brand authority is your personal brand multiplied by your business brand multiplied by your campaign brand. Those are the three brands that you need to align in order to get brand authority that gives you a level of visibility and credibility to allow you to generate more leads, which in turn will give you more clients and ultimately more revenue for your business, right? But then throughout the journey, when you devote your time and your effort to go on this journey and to really give it a good go. As I always say, every day you're working, every day you're putting in a graft to ensure that you're one step closer to your destination. And sometimes things just don't go to plan. Sometimes things just don't go to plan. And that's completely fine because that is life. That is what happens. But for me, and I'll give you a quick story. Matter of fact, I'm not gonna mention who or mention organizations or anything like that because it's still something that I feel was an amazing opportunity and something that I may want to look into again later down the line. But a opportunity presented itself a last year, I would say, where I had the opportunity just to, let's say for argument's sake, provide more expertise on a wider scale, right? I'll put it like that. And in the sort of pursuit of looking to do that, it was something I was so determined to do, or something that I really wanted to do alongside what I'm doing now, right? And what happened, it was a case where for myself, I had high expectations. I had high expectations to the point where I was even thinking about what I can do off of the back of the opportunity that was presented to me. And for me, I would say last year in particular, I was very much like, I need to be everywhere and anywhere. And any opportunity, I'm there, any opportunity I'm taking. Whereas now, I'm very much reserved and focused on my mission. I know exactly what I need to do. I know exactly who I need to be speaking to. I know exactly what I need to be involved in. And I know exactly where my destination is heading now. So that clarity has allowed me to be a lot more focused on my actual journey and the pursuit of success, right? But before then, I was very much like, yep, tell me where to go and I'll be there. That was my sort of vibe before. So, long story short, so with that particular opportunity, it didn't go to plan at all. It just didn't go to plan. And it was of no fault of my own, to be fair. It was just the case of it just didn't get the sort of reaction that was necessary. And for me, as mentioned, I had so much high expectations during that time. It was so upsetting, I would say. It was disheartening. And like I said, when you're in the pursuit of building something bigger than yourself and building a business at a scale, you know that you have to rely on your not only your discipline but also your motivation to get things done and to also pick yourself back up when you're down, right? And that one's always stuck with me. It always stuck with me because I felt that because I placed such high expectations on this opportunity only for it to not go the way that I envisioned, that made me realize that maybe it's not in our best interest to really have high expectations for many things when it comes down to brand building and when it comes down to putting yourself out there and opening yourself for opportunity, right? Because not to say that anything is going to go wrong. Like I said, I'm always someone that's very much optimistic and positive when it comes down to just life and business and all that sort of stuff. However, I do think it's in your best interest when you are doing these things to just not take it with a pinch of salt firstly, but then don't have any sort of high expectations, because a lot of the time you having such high expectations and it's not going the way you planned, you were thinking positively in that sense, but you set yourself in a on a bad path. Because if for every given opportunity that's presented, you're going to be thinking of it being at this level and it ends up being this level, then ultimately that will be so, I suppose, the meaning of your time and your effort and what you're doing. You may not even want to do it at all anymore. And we don't want that. You want to effectively look at it from a neutral standpoint, no matter what you're doing. Look at it as neutral. It's never too bad and it's never too good. It's literally just in the middle. And that's where you need to be when it comes down to brand building, because there's going to be so many opportunities that present themselves through the process, right? And some may be people wasting your time. Some may be people that are actually opening doors for you that you didn't even envision, right? But the most important thing is that no matter what, you cannot control the end result. You cannot control what happens at the end of you saying yes to this particular opportunity, right? So, with that, I would say it's in your best interest to not have such high expectations for something that you haven't even planned or done on your own accord. Because ultimately, you are the only person where you know if you do something, you will expect it to be done in this particular way, or you would expect it to be done in the way that you would like it to be based on your imagination of things or how you feel things are meant to be. But when you're working amongst different people, different settings, different organizations, different brands, when you're collaborating, in fact, you have to bear in mind that you are not in control of these situations. And just because you are not in control doesn't mean that when it goes wrong, you should blame yourself. Because I was sitting there blaming myself or kind of kicking myself down. And I already said I don't even like people doing that themselves, but it was a bit like disheartening for me. But then, in the grand scheme of things, who am I to have such high expectations for things that, firstly, hasn't even happened yet, and secondly, I'm not in control of? It doesn't add to anything. It doesn't provide any additional way of me being able to benefit from the opportunity, because I've given it such a sort of high platform that when it doesn't go to plan, it just comes crashing down. And then I look at myself thinking that it's a waste of time or it's a waste of effort, when in actual fact it's not. So that's my video for today. When it comes down to building your brand, right, just please just take it with a pinch of salt and really just focus on the expectations that you're setting on potential things, right? Because ultimately, the only things that really matter in the grand scheme of when it comes to building your brand and your branding journey is where you started and where you're looking to end, based on you having that sort of point in your mind or in your head regarding the end destination. And then from there, you reverse engineer the process. And whatever happens in between that time, good or bad. It's got nothing to do with you. It's your campaign. Your campaign is how you get from A to B in the most effective way. Any additional things that come off the back of that, whether it's good or bad, it doesn't concern you. Focus on staying neutral, have low expectations. I'm laughing because it sounds like I was just saying don't be aspiring or anything. I'm not saying that at all. I'm more just saying save yourself the headache of thinking that these things are going to be bigger than what they are, and then just take it for what it is. Take it at face value and use that to navigate. Don't be focusing so solely on that particular thing because you have your end destination to worry about. Focus on that, right? Anything that adds to it is a blessing. Anything that didn't necessarily go to plan, it's a blessing nevertheless because you learn from it and you know what you can do moving forward, right? So that's it for me today in this video. Please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, and comment below if you thought this was useful or if you thought this was quite a interesting take or something that you would actually apply to yourself. And if you don't agree with me, then please comment below and let me know why you disagree. I would love to hear your thoughts as well. But on that note, I will catch you tomorrow. Peace out. Look after yourself.